from, I won't call you the horse, but the horse's mouth here. And that's not a bad session to start with, Christian. How do you assess what's happened in testing and out there today?
Well, first of all, it was freezing out there, but yeah, it's been a positive day for us, really, both in the warmer conditions, earlier in the day, that last session, the short run, the long run, both look pretty decent. So, but of course, fuel loads and engine modes, and there's so many caveats, but we're pretty satisfied with today's running.
What fuel load are you on?
Sorry, ExxonMobil.
You're telling me what fuel you're using, not how much. But I mean, so Sergio, how did he get on? Because he didn't.
Yeah, he was trying a couple of different things on his car. So,
right.
Of course, when you're limited in time, just the 2 hours of running with such a new car, you diverge with the setups to try and gain as much data as you can. So, both aerodynamically and mechanically, they're just trying a couple of different things.
Can you explain the difference between, obviously the complaints we're hearing from Lewis Hamilton and from Mercedes is that the porpoising is the problem. Are you experiencing difficulties like that? Yours doesn't seem to be.
I think to a lesser degree. I mean, theirs looks particularly aggressive, but I think the guys have done a good job of. We had a fair amount of it in Barcelona, but I think we've started to understand it and get on top of it.
How can you dial it out? I mean, for those at home, is it a simple thing to do? Is it,
I think it's obviously an inherent thing with these regulations. So it's just trying to understand, what triggers it and and calm that down. So they're so sensitive to ride height that the lower you go, the worse it gets.
It looks quite bad on the Mercedes. Would you give them any advice at all on how to set up their car?
Damon, I know you would love to stir a bit, but I think that we're very much focused on how we can improve our car, and it's such a new set of regs. I'm sure development, what we see as a running order here will vary significally.
So, in all seriousness, are you looking over your shoulder at Ferrari?
I think Ferrari are very, very quick. You could see. Leclerc today was quick. Carlos Sainz was quick. Whenever they've been on track during pre-season, they've been, very impressive. So, I think they could well be the car to beat tomorrow.
We know last season it got very intense. Sometimes it got quite personal. Are you quite relishing the fact that actually there might be a few others to compete with this year, rather than just that duel as it was in 2021?
We don't really mind who the competitors are. So, each of the teams are competitors, but it's great to see Ferrari back and competitive. They've been a giant that's been quiet the last couple of years, and they were always going to get it together. They started very early on this project, and they've come out with a great car. I'm just delighted with our guys after the intensity of last year that we've managed to hit the track running with a decent package that we can develop and evolve through the season.
Does it help that you got the master, Adrian Newey, who would have been around for when Ground Effect was there back in the early 80s? Because
he came in.
Got my question.
He came in just right at the end of it. So,
but he did IndyCar, didn't he? They basically had.
But they were step bottom floors in those days. So this is a bit of a voyage of discovery for him, as well. But
because he was moaning like crazy about the regulations and how they were too restrictive and stuff like that. Did he get over that?
I think every single set of regulations that we've had in his time at Red Bull, he's not liked any of them because they're not free enough. They don't give him enough.
They're so different. All the cars
freedom.
are different. I mean,
but it's great to see. As you say, the variance and the different shapes. Of cars, different suspension solutions. We've gone for a pull rod on the front suspension, and they're just all so different. Now, I'm sure over a period of time there will be convergence as maybe bits from our car, bits from other cars, the Ferrari, the Mercedes, etc. Will hone in over the next couple of seasons.
What does it feel like to be the hunted again, as opposed to the hunter?
I think walking into the garage and seeing the number one on the car, that's been massive motivation for everybody. I mean, it's been 7 years since we've managed to achieve that, and we fought really hard to get that on the car, for this year, and now the target is to try and keep it there. And I think that the effort that's gone in over the winter has been monumental. I mean, it was only 2.5 months ago that we were in Abu Dhabi, and it's a completely new set of regulations, and I think that the effort that's gone in over the winter has been monumental. I mean, it was only 2.5 months ago that we're in Abu Dhabi, and it's a completely new set of regulations, and I think that the effort that's gone in over the winter has been monumental. I mean, it was only 2.5 months ago that we're in Abu Dhabi, and it's a completely new set of regulations, and So yeah, the hard work from all the men and women back in Milton Keynes has been outstanding, and to be here, hopefully in a reasonable position with a car that we can fight with is a great team performance.
Not taking anything away from your achievements last year, but obviously there are a lot of disillusioned fans after what happened in Abu Dhabi. The FIA report is out tomorrow, we understand. I don't know if you can give us any news on that. What are you expecting from it? And what do you think the drivers and the teams want to see from that?
Well, I haven't seen it really. I certainly haven't seen the report. In terms of what to expect, I don't really know, to be honest with you. I'm sure that there'll be things that they could have done better, but it's like anything in life, isn't it? You're always learning, and whether you're a team, whether you're the organizer, the referee, but I don't think it's going to show anything that you probably didn't already know.
But you won't be coming onto the radio to the race director anymore. Do you think that's a good move?
I think that the team managers certainly should retain that ability to speak to race control. Getting the team principals off is I think probably a good thing, because it does keep the dialogue just between the team managers and the organizer. But I think it's important that that's still broadcast, though, because I think it's important to know and understand what is being transmitted between the pit wall and race control.
Would you accept that it might have been a factor in how the race director made his decisions in Abu Dhabi, being bombarded by both you guys, in the middle of a difficult time to make a decision? Probably.
Well, look, Michael had, I said it before, Michael had a tough job last year, and I think, I feel sorry for him, because, now there is more support coming. We've got a new president. He's reviewed the systems, and I took him around our factory and said, look, this is our operations room. We've got a team of people in here. You've got one person in race control, and he doesn't have all the information. I think they're still doing stuff by hand with, lap cars and so on, whereas everything we run is automated. So I think that moving the technology forward will only help, the decision making. Now, in terms of talking with race control, that started, obviously, that's been going on for years. It just hasn't been broadcast before.
There's a VAR system now. We know that, but we've got two race directors. We've got Herbie Blash overseeing it.
Yep.
Is there a danger that it might be, decisions by committee coming? I mean, this is all to be seen. They're obviously doing their best to put in a system that works for everyone, so we don't get a repeat of what happened in Abu Dhabi. Is that enough for you, or can we only judge it as it goes on?
I don't think you can just look at Abu Dhabi. I think you've got to look at the rules in general. I think the rules are too complicated. Like for me, for example, track limits in all other sports, being over the white line is out. We've had the race here last year. It's okay to go over in the race, but it's not in qualifying. You can't overtake over, and I think that's too complicated.
They're saying that now, though, aren't they? They're saying that it's white lines is out.
Absolutely. So I think by making clearer rules will make it easier for the referee, to police as well. So I think tidying that up is also a good thing.
Were you happy with the way the sport was run last year, or do you think there was going to be a crisis at some point that provoked the changes that are going to be brought in now? I mean,
well, I think the intensity of the battle that we had last year, because it was literally every single race, and we felt pretty aggrieved that we'd come off throughout the year. We always seemed to be on the wrong end of the decision making, and that.
You sure about that? Seriously,
over the balance of the season, even at the beginning of the race in Abu Dhabi, we felt that hard done by, and I think that, as I say, clearing up the regulations will only help. And I think the race director's got a tough job, and bringing the experience of somebody like Herbie in. He's got 60 years worth of experience he brings with him. He's there to offer guidance as well. I think is a positive thing.
Look, it's good for reality TV. It's good for TV to have a little bit of niggle out there. Have you shaken hands with Toto and said best of luck for this season? Are you guys going to keep it clean off the track as well as it was on?
I'm going to pop round for some pumpernickel.